Hey, it's 7 Grains of Salt. Well, let's catch up on some news that have happened over the weekend since so much is happening and so fast. It's really challenging just to keep up. So let's look forward. Since I used to be a Zionist and I watch CBN News all the time, I just thought I'd take a peek in there. And well, I noticed there was a CPAC conference. Their main thing on their headline was "The best is yet to come." Well, when I looked into a different news source, they had the main key issues that they covered, which I didn't see in CBN News at all. So I'm just going to mention them. So, self-government and civil society with a focus on voter participation, free markets and how to help the economy, war on humanity touching on abortion and life issues, national security including a spotlight on Israel. Well, I don't know about you, but I remember this.
I don't know, maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
But I'm sure many people remember that, the calm before the storm. So then I went to Charisma News and noticed that Mike Bickle was there on the front few headlines there concerning Kanye West. So let's take a listen.
Look at him and say, here's a person who's making a confession. Jesus is king. He's king of my life. It's a recent confession. And we need to take it at face value that it's sincere unless he gives us strong evidence in his character in the days to come that it's false. And it's public. But even then, we don't need to have a big opinion on it because we're not taking our doctrine from him. We're not taking our model of Christianity from him. And it's public. But even then, we don't need to have a big opinion on it.
Wow, we don't need to have an opinion on it. And unless it's like false and he's come out to confess, then we should have an opinion on it. Is that what he said? Unbelievable. But of course, this is the man who has stood next to the Pope and who's united with Bill Johnson and many, many other false pastors. But of course, I shouldn't have an opinion on that. So let's just move forward, shall we? TM Films also had great videos over the weekend. If you've watched, father and daughter released from quarantine. Let's listen.
This dad, just released from quarantine, wanted everyone to know he was doing just fine. But watch what happens as he and his 5-year-old daughter appear on Fox News.
It is contagious, but the death rate is pretty low.
Frank Wusinski and little Annabelle spent 2 weeks in quarantine after returning from Wuhan, China, where his father-in-law died of coronavirus. But it backfired because of that coughing fit.
Frank, thank you.
40% to 60% of Americans may contract coronavirus, many of whom will show no symptoms. Pope canceled all Friday appearances amid speculation he may have contracted coronavirus. The Vatican continues to insist he has a slight indisposition. The Korean boy band BTS canceled the opening concerts of their world tour. And CBS has temporarily suspended production of season 33 of The Amazing Race as a precaution.
And did you notice them running out through the ball? And they mentioned the episode was 33 or season 33, whichever it was. Wow, unbelievable. So then as well, Many Fish posted something new concerning the stock market plunging. Let's take a brief listen.
Everybody knows that the stock market has plunged this week over coronavirus fears. What was brought to my memory was this little clip. The market plunge. And then the very next scene in that demonic cartoon is a mosque being bombed, okay, by 3 jets. And we'll notice that those 3 jets have very distinct markings on them. 3, 2, too. So we have this huge market decline, the fastest in history. This will break the middle class. This is the whole plan, is to render you helpless. Total financial control. And this virus is amounting to nothing more than medical martial law. So the markets plunge at the 322 jets at the 3-minute and 2-second mark. His crown of thorns on his head. The crown of thorns was housed at Notre Dame. China, Russia's Red Square, the Russian Red Army. Look at Turkey's flag. Okay, so the war is coming, and you know that with the food supplies being jeopardized and everything, between the crop failures and what's happening in China and everything, that black horse is soon to follow, which equates to social economic calamity. The New World Order system coming in. They hold the balances of total food, finance, and travel control. It's of total food, finance, and travel control. It's just that simple. A measure of wheat for a penny, and see that you do not hurt the oil and the wine. They're already deploying military to make sure that farmers plant when they're supposed to make sure that everything they plant and harvest goes to the government. Do you understand? It's a complete and total takeover of all resources. And the pale horse follows soon behind, who says we need a Manhattan Project level effort in vaccines to battle this coronavirus.
As a defensive measure, to say again, it is essential that we shut down all commercial air travel immediately between the United States and China. As an offensive measure, because that probably won't stop it entirely, and because if it becomes a global pandemic, we have to deal with countries with very limited capabilities here. We need a Manhattan Project level effort to work with our best research scientists and laboratories in this country to develop a vaccine as quickly as possible.
And their level 4 biolab in Manhattan, Kansas. 322 days later, right on the same day as Israeli elections. Put your faith and trust in Christ and lean not on your own understanding, because times are critical.
And then we have Pedrov. Food shortages already in China, Singapore, and also Italy. And that's not even mentioning all the locusts that we've seen all around, the fires, the flooding, all the devastation around the world. But let's take just a brief look.
Scared. Today I noticed in the news that people were fighting for masks, and that's kind of interesting to see because, you know, just for a simple box of masks, they're charging almost 200 Hong Kong dollars. So it's going to be quite the problem in Hong Kong soon. But it's going to get worse, I think, before it gets better.
Iwinski says the outbreak illustrates why American companies should not become dependent on China.
I think this will be a wake-up call for these businesses. All their eggs in one basket really is dangerous.
Now, nobody can predict for sure when and how much the impact is going to be on stores like Walmart. But if there's something you really want from China, maybe the best advice is to get it now.
The Trump administration is making some big changes to the food stamp program.
Well, food stamps have long helped Americans when they've struggled. Today, 36 million Americans depend on them, and nearly 1/3 or 11 million are children. But this week, the Trump administration moved to cut some of them off.
Vaccine company Novavax say they have made a protein that stops the virus from binding to human cells.
One of the most aggressive efforts to find a vaccine for the coronavirus.
The dead military revealing its brand new crowd control instrument.
A group of scientists, doctors, environmental organizers, and concerned citizens got together and they called for the urgent stop to the deployment of 5G. They said that it's been proven harmful to human bodies, that this is an experiment on humanity, and that this should be called a crime under international law.
And Canadian doctors and scientists have added their voices.
The most prevalent symptoms include headache, fatigue, decreased ability to concentrate, tinnitus, irritability, and insomnia. Impacts on The heart and the nervous system are also of great concern.
What do all those deaths mean?
And remember, I'm not saying that you can trust all the people that I've sometimes taken clips from. Even Pedro, great at finding things, but sometimes takes clips from pastors who are well known to at least me and many others that are false and are aligning with the Pope and many others. So you just have to stay on your toes. I do my best, but you also have to be on guard. Now then there's Enter the Stars. If you're interested in chatting, they have a live chat every day from Monday to Friday where you can get in, talk, ask questions, people try to answer, even while he's having discussions. He's done a lot of coverage on Trump, trying to wake up people to understand that there's no Democrat or Republican Party anymore. I mean, they're basically all run by the same people. They're the same people behind closed doors. Let's look at a quick clip of his.
Microsoft wins a massive Jedi cloud contract. Now we're going to look at this guy. This is Donald Trump's new $100 million private jet. This was 2011. He bought it from none other than the now deceased co-founder of Microsoft. This is before they won the contract, right? This is before they won the Jedi contract, and Microsoft's already talking about working with Trump. You see how all this is going on behind the scenes while we're arguing about impeachments and viruses? And listen to how he handles this.
Most important for governments and companies is to work together to create a regime that allows more people and more organizations to trust technology. A regime that allows more people and companies is to work together to create a regime that allows more people and more organizations to trust technology.
Trust.
So basically, Trump and Microsoft want us to trust technology. How much do you trust technology? As for me, I don't. They follow me everywhere. I take my phone everywhere, so it's my fault that I've taken it with me. But I don't trust. And last but definitely not least, I watched a clip of Israel News Live, and he talks about the false Christs and false messiahs and how they're wanting to build the third temple, and of course the Zionists are promoting this. Woohoo! Let's watch.
Now, all that in purple is what happened 2,000 years ago. In the green, that's like, I got it green for like go, right now. Now they're bringing you all kinds of false Christs, false messiahs. Why? Because the deadly wound of the beast is healed, and that serpent is beginning to rise once again and giving power unto his people. Behold, I have told you before, Jesus says, wherefore if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. And you got on all these Israeli news channels over there in the Middle East saying that they got a rabbi talking to the Mashiach, and the Christians are, woo! Let's build the third temple. Woo! Something God's already judged. Let's build it up. Really great. That's real good. That's like blasphemy, if you ask me.
Amen, brother. That is like blasphemy. I hope they wake up, or then people start to wake up to the truth of what is going on. Well, that's all that I had found and watched over the past weekend and the last few hours, and I thought I'd share. Hope it blessed you. And remember, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves, because even this says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Because many are seeing what is going on, and it's very shameful and sad to see these pastors going in this direction. So keep watch. God bless. Till next time.